All right, we are here with Children of Eden. Thank you guys for doing this interview with C Squared on behalf of Disarray magazine.
No, thank you for having us.
All right, so I always start off by telling everyone who you are and what you do for the band. So whoever wants to take lead, go for it.
So my name's Chris Avila. I'm the bass player, co-founder, and lead singer, half lead singer. Yeah, and backup vocals.
I'm Mike. Technically, I'm just the front man, but I also fill in on other stuff. And also co-founder and lead vocalist.
I'm Alex, and I play drums for Children of Eden and any other instruments that are needed for live shows or anything else.
Yeah.
So how long have you guys been a band?
We've been a band for 10 years now. Yeah, 10 years. 2026.
In what? July?
April.
April?
Yeah, April
Oh,
2016
okay.
is when Children of Eden got started.
Is there a song that you all like to play?
Mine, I have to say, would be Going Nowhere, the ska one.
Ska, ska, ska!
We have a Dave Grohl syndrome in our band a little bit, like just a little bit.
Yeah. And so, yeah.
Maybe that helped me get in.
But that has to be one of my favorite songs to play live, just because the bass line is, when I wrote it, I wrote it, and then I was like, this is
Dude,
really
when we
fun.
wrote that song, bro, remember, like, okay, because when we wrote this song, we didn't have a drummer. So we would get, like, YouTube and, like, okay, give me a beat. We just look up drum beat at 140 BPM or whatever. And it's just like a boop, bap, boop, bap, boop, bap, boop, bap, boop, bap.
Yeah.
Okay, we're like, let's write a song. And we started writing it. And as soon as we started writing it and he got that bass line, we literally started running in place like a ska skank.
Yeah.
And that's when we knew. We were like, all right, this is it. This is a fucking sick song. Because if we're moving, then it's got something there.
Yeah.
That was like, I will admit, I remember that moment because it was like one of those magical moments when you just, everything kind of falls into place, you know?
Yeah.
I really, really enjoy playing Monsters is one of them. That one's one of my favorites. And then the title track, or the title song, Children of Eden, is also my favorite. Because I really like that hip-hop kind of like, almost like funky kind of like drum intro into the whole thing, and how I can give it like a grungy feel.
Right.
Like it's like a mix of like funk and then grunge, but as well as like this kind of like this Rage Against the Machine kind of sound at the end. Kind of gave me like the like bullet in the head, kind of like how the ending is just that.
Yeah.
Right in the end, it picks up and then it just ends. but it's like a tie for me. At least those two are.
We're children of Eden. To stroke us and choke us to fuel our corrupt. They feed us to please us, then beat and mistreat. They say it is a pleasure to reach out and feel, but that's just a piece of their thesis on freedom. You see it, you hear it, but you still believe them. And this is not stand, cause I'm in demand. I'm a home for the children of Eden. The children of Eden. Keep us remitted. Distractions that fracture and structure your limits. It's infinite, instruments, it's what we put into it. Spiritual displays of cosmic significance. We know what is needed. The way of the world is misleading. So deep in your thinking and replant that seed. Cause we are the children of black coming. Black coming. By tying their strings, confine it to draw their lines, denying your natural being. We're born to the earth, not a region. The reason they speak of is treason. They keep it in trees and try to deceive, but we are the children of Eden. We're coming. Wow. We're coming. Wow. What about them? Wow. We're coming. Wow. Repeat after me, we can follow along. United, devoted, we know where we're going.
right now my favorite song to perform, and I think it's just because like it feels, I don't want to say age appropriate, but like what it's about is kind of like what I'm going through. At this age, like there's like a feeling of disconnection. Like my daughter just turned 12, so she's getting to that age where like daddy is not a thing anymore, you know? And so, and then we live in a time where like I realize like we're always on our phone, or we even converse on our phones. Like we're on our phones and having a conversation at the same time. And I think just like a realization of all those things has made me fall in love with this song. It's not out yet, but Well Fed, it's a new song. It's gonna be on the Banana Split. Whenever, like the last few times that we performed that song, like every time I get to the lyric, I hope this song gives you everything that you ever needed. It like fucking touches me every time, because there's so much in that lyric personally for me that means so many things. Like I think about it when I say it, when I'm saying it to myself. Like I hope that this song, because you know when you're in music, you're striving for something, whether it's fame, finances, something. There's something you're trying to get to, and like I said earlier, there's like you create successes, but at the same time, sometimes we do the opposite, and we start to doubt ourselves. And so I kind of wrote that lyric for myself to say like I hope music brings me what I want, but then at the same time I sing it. There's so many like layers to it, because when I say it to an audience, it's like whoever's going through shit, or who also feels like they're not being heard or being seen. I hope that's what I'm hoping, that when I say this line, like for me, that's always been my goal for music, is I want to be understood, but I want to understand people and find like a connection, because I'm not the most sociable person, like on a regular basis, but when it comes to being on stage, that's like my only time that I'm like the real version of me. Sorry. And when I see like audience members like really get into it, like that's the only time that I feel connected to. Like we don't have to share words, we don't have to share ideas. I just have to do my thing, and you just have to feel it, and there's a connection there. And I think that's why that's like right now is my favorite song, because I'm really hoping that when people hear it, that they understand where I'm coming from, but also like maybe awaken to the idea that holy shit, we are disconnected. Like, because sometimes I think we live in the technological world now where we are so distracted by like everything. Like we're
doom scrolling.
Yeah, I think we're just so consumed by like social media and streaming TV and just shit like that, and it's so easy to get caught up in that shit. It is like a literal drug.
You know what pisses me off about streaming TV though is you get streaming TV to stop commercials, and now every streaming thing has fucking commercials.
I know, right? What are we paying for, right?
Yeah.
What the fuck are we paying for then?
Clearly, you're paying for the beta version.
Yeah,
I guess.
But we don't even have MTV with music videos anymore, you know?
Yeah.
Oh,
One thing I miss is pop-up video. Dude, pop-up video was awesome. Little quotes of like what happened. Oh, did you know that Madonna was actually drunk when she filmed this? It's like what?
Educational.
Yeah.
So, for somebody who's never seen you guys perform before, what first impression would you want them to walk away with?
I had
Relief. And I mean, okay, well, go ahead. You want to?
Me, it was just I had fun. Like I want someone to walk into our shows and go, I guess in a sense, relief. Like, dude, that let my energy out.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
I had so much fun just
Maybe
getting in the pit, or just listening to their songs, headbanging, or just anything. I want someone to walk away going, that was a fun band.
Maybe I shouldn't say relief. Maybe I should say release.
Release, yeah.
I was gonna say the
Release.
same thing, yeah.
Yeah.
Like I want people to feel like, oh, I was finally able to release this.
Yeah,
And
whatever.
It could be happiness or frustration, anything.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
And I want people, yeah, that's a good one. I want people to come to like our shows and expect to be able to feel like
Yeah.
the things that they can't feel at home or the things that they can't feel in public. Like I want people to come to our shows and like, I don't care if you cry. If you had a bad day and the aggression of the music or something I said just touched you or made you whatever, or joyous, whatever the emotion is, I want them to come and feel that. Like, and with no shame, no fucking shame, just pure emotion. And when you're done, you can go home and sleep and be like, fuck everything
Or not
else.
sleep because it was so fun.
Or not sleep. You're so adrenalized.
But yeah, it's almost like
Maybe later on, but not.
recently we saw the Descendants of the House of Blues, and it's almost like when we got there, there's certain songs that hit you. And have you ever had that feeling when you're listening to a song, your heart kind of like pumps and you want to cry and you're just like, fuck yes. I feel like it's that kind of sensibility that we want people to walk away with, like, dude, this band made me like feel something, and it was so awesome to see them. And
No, that is true, because when we went and saw you guys in Vegas, the Double Down, first time, and I'm like, who the fuck's this guy up here with no shoes on playing bass? And who's this other guy that came and sang with Bait? Now he's singing with them, but he was on drum. It's just like, what the fuck is going on here? And then when you guys did it, I told her, I was like, fuck, who are these guys? Like, it hits. It does. Like, all the songs do. Your vocals are fucking crazy because it would never sound like you could sing that way. And just by talking, it's just that you bring it up such a down here, And yeah, it was just that night after that. Even we had the tacos and shit after.
Yeah, that was fun.
I was still like listening. I'm like, dude, I gotta fucking listen to their music. So yeah, luckily shit, Spotify is on and you guys are on there, and that helped out a lot because I was like, damn, there's just something about the energy that you just feel through it. And that's what I was like, wow.
I'm glad you caught us on that show because that was a great show.
Yeah, that was.
I mean, some bands have good shows, bad shows, and you're like, you see them on a bad night. You're
You
like,
caught us on the night where we played for a wedding.
yeah.
Yeah.
You guys look like a bunch of monsters to me. This one's called Monsters. Can I get a cheers in the house? Everybody raise your glasses. Make some noise. What's your favorite scary movie? Hell yeah.
So can you tell us, being in a band for this long, what have you learned?
You take that one.
What have we learned? Well, on my behalf, I learned that that success is definitely something that you make for yourself, and I've also learned that longevity it means a lot, because like he said, we've been through this 10 years as children of Eden, but we've been playing music
Like 21.
yeah, like 20 plus years or whatever. And you see people come and go. And then once you reach like a certain amount of years, you're like, dang, I'm still here. You know what I mean? And you see like people move on to like other things, but it kind of, like when you learn that what longevity means, you find like a pride in that, because you've outlasted, like being in a band, there's so many things that you like hurdles you go through. Like you hear it said a lot that being in a band is like being in a marriage. And it's definitely like that, because you got to find like a chemistry within people, and you guys, there's going to be arguments, or there's going to be like differences on ideas. And so like there's so many things that can kill a band. So then when you realize like, holy shit, we're still here, you're like, you take into consideration all that hard work. And like it goes back to my thing about success, like you realize the success in that. So there's something to be proud about that. Like even though there's no money, or maybe your fan base is not as big as you want it to be, I think that it doesn't matter, because if you've spent like 10 plus years having fun, meeting new people, like writing songs, like that in itself is something that most people don't do in their regular lives. Right. So
one thing I've learned definitely is you can't do it alone. Children of Eden definitely has become a collective of musicians.
Yeah, we're not a band really anymore.
Yeah,
We've become like a collective.
Alex here is from Apollo 3. Throughout our 10 years, we've played with so many musicians that are in other bands that pretty much kept us chugging because they hopped in and helped us.
Or if you listen to our music, there's so many people who've like contributed their piece to it.
Yeah, I want to say we have about a dozen like EPs, singles, and like albums out, and like I think I counted like 55 songs total. And if you listen to each one, there was always like in 2017 we did about 3, and then in, I think maybe 2020 we released a lot. And you can just, there were so many musicians that we've played with that some, like he said, aren't even playing anymore, that are on those albums, so their legacy stays with those albums, and they'll live forever. Like we can always look back and go, oh, this was so and so from this band. And like Alex here, like he's helped us a lot. Like even when we kind of took a break, I went on, like I did like some like rap kind of music and stuff, so I did my own thing, and I can always count on Alex here, like, hey, can you throw a guitar solo on this? And I want to say Alex has done at least over a dozen, if not more, guitar solos on our recordings for children, and then my personal stuff, which was Kiefer Strong. It was like rap, kind of hip hop stuff. But yeah, I've learned that you can't, like as much as Mike and I write the music, we can't go and just play a show without anyone, or we can't do it alone, you know what I mean?
Is it hard playing with brothers?
You know, I feel like I'm always kind of on like, kind of like in the group, kind of like, what are we doing again? Like it does kind of feel like there are moments, but I'm happy to say it's not too often. I feel like whenever I'm invited onto a project with Chris and Mike, that it's very, it's kind of like you don't know what to expect. Like there's like, oh, we're gonna do this. Oh, we're gonna do this, and maybe change it up here. And it's like there's always kind of like a plan. And whenever I come, hang out and record or practice, there's always something new, and it's always like fun to look forward to.
I will say, looking back on these 10 years, we've been through, I think I told you one time, we went through like 26 drummers. And looking back, I've talked to him about it. Maybe it is because we are brothers and we've always ran the band. No, but seriously, it's seriously true.
It really is.
I think it's we ran the band like a business, and we always wanted to go for gold, and like, so we overly
have
harsh
high expectations.
On other musicians,
Yeah.
and sometimes I've told him, sometimes maybe we take the fun out of it because we're so harsh on like, oh dude, you got to get this part right. And if you listen to our songs, there's a lot of endings they're
detailed.
Like, very detailed endings or stops and stuff like that. And so when a musician doesn't do that, it's kind of like, you got to get this part because that's how it was written. And like Alex here, like he when we play drums, he'll add the stops, and obviously every live show is going to be different, but it's fun.
He keeps the integrity
of the music, yeah. And so I think going back, it is, we've probably rubbed a lot of people the wrong way because we are brothers, and me and him are like one mind. Like he'll say something like, oh, I was thinking the same thing.
It's funny you say that because when we were driving today and we were talking, I said something and you're like, yeah. Or you said something, I was like, that's a good idea. And I realized me and you are just like that, where it's like any idea me and you kind of throw in the pool, we're just like, okay, that's a good one.
Yeah.
And then as soon as somebody challenges our idea, we're just like, that wasn't part of the plan.
Yeah.
But I think my final lesson, I think, goes back to what you were saying, is like, I did learn that one this year. We had my little brother in the band, and he's just turned 18, 19.
He'll turn 18 in August.
And so he was in the band for just like a month, and we gave him the same treatment as anybody else, like high expectations. And then I really learned really fast that we were sucking the fun out of it. And so at some point I realized, dude, I realized for myself that I wasn't having fun anymore.
Oh, see.
So I got back to that where I cut my expectations out, and I'm just like, all right, let's just go play a fucking show.
Yeah.
So that was like, I think that was my 2026 lesson of the year, was that, dude, if you're gonna do art and you're not having fun, then there's no point.
Yeah, and I think with our little brother, we had high expectations of like,
He's our brother.
Yeah, come in and you need to play these songs exact. And he's never had the chance. Like me and him, I started when I was like 13, 14, and he was 16.
And we jammed with other people.
And we would jam with people,
experience.
and we had the experience of like sucking.
Right.
And my brother's never had that of playing with other people his age and just jamming and having
being on a
fun
level,
and being on that level of like growing. He immediately came into this band, and we're like, dude, you need to be tight. And so I can see why that can suck the fun out of it, because
But it was an eye opener for real.
Yeah, definitely.
I will say too, it's kind of funny when I was playing with two brothers, and then he came in. Now there's three. Now there's three, and I'm over here like,
He's
oh
like,
man.
does this guy have more seniority over me?
And over here playing too, and I'm all like, oh, that sounds pretty cool too.
Hey, but technically you have the same last name, you just have a D. And-
Yes, that's a funny story
Right.
too. My last name is Davila, and then of
we're
course
Avila.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, so technically there's one letter difference.
Yeah.
brother from another mother.
I'm happy to say that, like, playing with these guys, it's been a lot of fun. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I've had a lot of fun.
We love
Glad
having you
said-
around too.
I was gonna say, I'm glad you were having fun, because I thought we were sucking it all out.
Yeah, no, I love this guy so much. I can always call on him to do a solo, and he has such a great ear that I'll send him like a rap song or just a new song and be like, hey, can you throw a lead on this? Couple days come by, he'll shoot me a lead, and it'll be like phenomenal. And I'm like, oh shit, that's exactly what I wanted. You know,
7 takes later.
hey, but
it works.
Great, it works. Yeah, he has the ear for it, and he can go, oh, is this what you kind of want? And I'll be like, oh, can you add like this? And boom, he'll get it.
So for this band, like, what are your inspirations?
So I think overall growing up, we had inspirations from a lot of different. We were very eclectic in our music taste. Like, we grew up listening to hip hop, and our dad listened to like hair metal,
R&B,
and oldies, everything. But honestly, I think what really drove us and Children of Eden was The Clash. when we first started, Mike and I were like listening to Clash and like that sound of how the Clash was punk, but also reggae, and also
they weren't afraid to take risks.
Yeah. And so that was one thing that me and him were like, this is like the band that we can always go back on. Like the Clash is like one of our biggest inspirations. And then as a brother writing duo, like we love the Beach Boys, the Eagles. So I always look at us as like the Don Henley and Glenn Frey, like, okay, like I love how they worked. If you ever watch the Eagles documentary, like,
yeah, they're kind of hard asses with their band, and I think that's where we kind of got it from.
Yeah, definitely. And then Brian Wilson is just how he's an amazing writer, and I've always like looked at that and was like how he took risk and, you know, had like Dogs Bark on an album and all this stuff. I'm like, that's amazing. Like, and his writing was so influential, I think, on us, because if you listen to all our songs, there's like a rap, like I said, we have a rap album that has like a funk song on it, and we grew up with Parliament Funk and all that kind of stuff too. So I think our writing is not limited to just punk rock. We never wanted to be that straight punk rock band. We wanted to be just express ourselves musically.
I'm not gonna lie, like, and I think I'd like to say that, like, he says the Clash, which is partly true, but I want to say that in the beginning, it was the Ramones, because the Ramones were the easily accessible band that you're like, I can do that. Like, you would, like, I remember when I first got a bass, I wanted to learn Slipknot, and I was like, dude, fuck this. Fuck this. And it was a bass, so I was just like, yeah, no, I'm not doing this. But then I discovered like the Ramones or the White Stripes, and you're like, dude, I can fucking do that. I can do that thing. And then I think it also goes back to the Ramones, because I've realized that we have a very eclectic influence, but what I've noticed is that our real influence is pop sensibility. Like, and I think most punk bands, like, they stray away from that, or they'll consider themselves pop punk, and there's that sound. But I think we take more of the pop sensibility of, at least on my personal thing, is that I love songs. Like, there's albums that I like all the way through, but it's only because all 13 songs are fucking bangers, right? Mm-hmm. And for me, it's always just been like a fucking good song, because I know there's good bands that are great musicians, and you know, they have their legacy or whatever, but I think for me and my songwriting, it's always been like a pop sensibility that's gonna be palatable, because I love the screaming and the punk rock thing, but I'm gonna be honest, like, I grew up I was a Backstreet Boys, Michael Jackson fan, like, all through my childhood, and I think that sticks in my head. Even when we're writing this like abrasive music, I'm like, okay, but I like these vocal melodies, and I like this lick because it's catchy as fuck. Like, I know there's some people that are like, it's not abrasive enough or whatever, but for me, I think the influence, and I think we grew up together, so there is that, we share that influence in, we love something that is popular, you know? Yeah. There's a reason why everybody loves it, and there's some songs that I don't agree with, but for the most part, I'll be like, you can't deny certain songs, because, you know, you'll hate it, you'll hate that song, but 10 minutes later you're fucking humming that melody, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that, yeah, so I love the psychology of music, like, in that way, and pop is all of that.
coming into this, I was thinking like, okay, so let's see, we got kind of like a hodgepodge of like stuff. I will say I listened to like Sonic Youth, especially with Steve Shelley, on how his drumming is. Like, he was a big influence of mine to bring into this, alongside with Dave Grohl, of course, and then as well as Marky Ramone, especially with his driving. On the
And you're like the only one who does it right too. you have no clue how many drummers we had that can't drive that hi-hat. And
It's
I'm
a knock
like,
on the
and
door.
I look at it, I'm like, that's my reaction, just like silence. Like, I'm like, for real, you can't do this? Like, sometimes I'll be like, we're a punk band, right?
Yeah, like, and I'm over here like, well, like, put on like Marky Ramone, or even Tommy, in the beginning, how he was just, like, and they sped up over the years.
Yeah.
And all you hear is this, and it's like, especially in a band that, like, for the earlier stuff, especially what you guys did with, like, doing like Dirty Dutchie and, like, especially with Monsters as well, like, those songs revolve a lot around that specific hi-hat, like 8th or 16th at some points.
Yeah.
So I did my research before I came in. Like, okay, what am I gonna do to, like?
What am I getting myself into?
like part of like half of the brain's like, what do I get myself into? And then the second part is, okay, I need to do some research. Let me think of what I can do to kind of fit in with them. So yeah, I just thought that those 3 drummers specifically were,
I
like,
think
the
it helps
perfect
that you're a
ones.
really big Ramones fan too.
Yes, it does. I love me some Ramones.
Then let's talk about the guy we're missing.
Oh, Juan,
Juan,
yeah.
How long has Juan been in the band?
Juan has been in the band for a year now?
Since
No, maybe not even a year
I think-
yet.
Is it coming up on a year? Maybe
It's
but
coming.
I wouldn't say it's a year.
Yeah, not even
Yeah.
a year yet. But I played with Juan in his band, Beautiful Desastres, which is like a Spanish funk rock and roll band. And I was in his band for like a year.
Yeah, you're in the
For a year,
Yeah.
and then our guitarist quit, and so we kind of went separate ways, because our guitar player, he was the guitar player for that band, and there was no replacing him at all. There's just none. But then we wanted to kind of get back into it, and I offered him, because he originally played bass. But his bass playing to me always seemed guitar-like because he's a lead bass player.
and he would sing and play.
And yeah,
It's
and he would
crazy.
sing
Yeah.
and play lead. So I was like, okay, well, you could just transfer that over to a guitar. And we're playing punk rock, so I'm sure you can do like power chords. So I just offered him, the spot. And Juan is like Alex. They love fucking music. They love to play. They love to learn music. Music's in their blood. And so when I offered it to Juan, he was like, okay, sure. I just want to play. And Juan has brought a whole different aspect to our band, because as me and Chris being like the sole writers of the band, I'm not like the most talented guitar player. Like, if I'm honest, like if you go through our catalog, like when we were doing the ska stuff, I wrote a ska song because I wanted to learn how to do upstrokes. So almost every little song that has a change in like genre or style is only because I wanted to learn that style. And so when you hear it, it's kind of like not perfect. So when Juan came in, he brought like a whole different fucking aspect to things, because his playing is so detailed and meticulous, and like you ask him to write a solo, that bro will have to go sit for a week and like kind of analyze what he's writing. And like, it takes forever, but when he comes back with stuff, I'm so amazed, because I'm like, I didn't hear that, or I would have never thought about that. So he has brought our songwriting to like another level, because we went for a long time where it's just us two, and then we're just like filling in drummers or filling in guitar players, not really jamming, writing, working on new material. And then when Juan joined, we had already been playing all our old material for so long that we were just like, let's just write new stuff. And so he just brought like a whole new level of it.
Yeah, so we've recorded at Blank Rail Studios, I think like 5 new songs so far since Juan's been in the band.
And they're
Great, yeah.
And they're totally different from what we usually do.
I don't want to speak for Juan, but I feel like he has that metal influence.
Sensibility,
yeah. He likes that metal stuff.
He definitely does.
And so that brings it a little more metal to our pop stuff, and it's and sometimes I love working with Juan because he challenges us because we're
okay, I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt,
No,
but
you're good.
going back to like the whole brothers thing and us rubbing people the wrong way, there's been a lot of people who are just like, you know what, I'm not dealing with this, I'm out. But Juan has been almost the opposite.
Yeah.
He will fucking challenge the fuck out of us. He'll be like, dude, what the fuck? Why didn't you communicate this? Or what, like, he'll be like, let's do this. And he'll be like, let me just play. He's not like other people. And even when like we shoot down his ideas, he doesn't like, he's still in it. You know what I mean? There's so many people who take things personally and then they're like, well, fuck it if I don't have a say or if I can't get my idea in or whatever the thing is, they're like, I'd rather go do something else. But Juan is like, he's loyal as fuck. And even though like we have our differences and discords, he's always just been like, I'm still in it. I'm still in it.
Yeah, and he's very he's a kind-hearted guy.
Do you guys have anyone that you want to give shout outs to?
Yeah, shout out to Quid Punk Quo, Ronnie and Vivian. They're like family. I consider them like family.
Very much so.
Alex, obviously, and Apollo 3, his band. Panic Movement. There's so many. Juan, especially.
Sorry, couldn't be here.
Brother Juan.
Yeah, our brother Juan.
I think
He's the only one.
our wives and kids for sure.
Yeah, wife.
Gotta
and
shout
kid.
out the wives and kids. you know?
Yeah, my wife.
And the new baby, dude.
Oh, new baby on the way, yeah. But my wife definitely supports me. When we met, we dated and stuff, and there was a lot of dumb shit I did when I drank, and she would come to our shows. So she doesn't come to our shows anymore, but not because of that, just more that she's kind of she's a homebody. She doesn't
It's
really
okay.
like to go
It's
out.
okay to say it.
But
They
every
get
time I-
burnt out on
Yeah,
that.
but every time I do have a show, she's like, go have a great show, and I wish you all the best and all that. So she does support me in that. Bait, Blank Reel Studios, Jason and Jason
Is today's
and Daniel.
birthday?
Yeah, today's happy birthday,
Jay.
Jason. Yeah, from the Shoobies. But yeah, and shout out to Disarray Mag for having us.
And shout out to the fans, like I don't have a number, we don't really have a number,
Yeah.
or a real idea, but I mean,
it's okay.
Anybody
Whoever's
who's
listening,
out there, whoever's listening, shout out to you. If you've ever been to a show, shout out to you for sure. And yeah.
Then come to the shows.
Yeah, there's so many bands I can shout out that I've worked with and people, and if we missed you, we're sorry, but you know who you are.
And all the ex-members too. Shout out to those guys.
And then shout out to whoever else, in the future.
And Pornhub.
Shout out to the LA scene and all the people we met along the way.
And OC scene,
OC as well.
i.e. Southern California,
Yeah, just California.
the United States.
Thank you guys for doing the interview with C Squared on behalf of Disarray Magazine.
Thank you.
Thank you
so
for
much.
having us.
When the rhythm of the music just keep on spinning around, never be let go.